Well, good evening, everybody. Hope everyone's having a good evening and ready to join us for this watch this show.
Woo!
And we don't have avatars. What happened?
What?
I still
I still have my
Okay.
avatar.
Yeah, I see
All
all
right.
of them.
I mean, I'm not an airbender, but you know,
But you are from the Fire Nation.
I am from the Fire
Exactly.
Nation. 1,000,000,000%.
Well, welcome, Matt. How you doing, man?
doing pretty good. Here at the hospital and my new luxurious lifestyle of being a hospital patient for the past, like 10, 12 months. But doing good though. Okay. So
Yeah, glad you could be on, man.
no problem. As soon as you said this movie, I was like, hopefully Jacob will ask me to be on.
Yeah. Yep. Welcome, Travis. How you doing?
Doing good. Just got through the crucible of everybody passing stomach flu to each other. The joys of having toddlers. So,
Oh, that's always
but we're all good now.
good.
And
Good to hear.
I enjoyed this movie a lot. Never seen it before. It's my first time. I think it's like the third Gregory Peck movie I've seen. So yeah, no, this is fun. I'm excited to talk about it.
Cool. And the fiery Mando herself.
Hello,
Welcome.
hello, everyone. Make sure that you have your fire alarms on properly and the batteries input. We don't want any of those chirping noises. Or in case of fire, make sure you have an extinguisher, but not me. So,
No, Mando didn't need a fire extinguisher.
correct.
She's good.
Fight fire with fire, they say.
Exactly. Welcome, Shieldwall.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Thanks for having me on. This is a pretty popular movie and very well done. It was longer than I thought it was going to be because when I used to watch it on TV, either they like cut a bunch of stuff for time or I'd always catch it after it already started. So I didn't realize it was like a 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's classic Hollywood. So well done.
Yeah. Yeah. The one I watched had the intermission in it.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's a proper movie.
Exactly.
As
Yeah.
an intermission.
Yeah.
There were like 2 or 3 movies like this and The Longest Day
Yep.
that were like, like when it was on, it was either a 4-hour presentation
Hmm.
or it was on over the course of 2 days.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it reminded me. I went when I lived in England. I went to one theater in London that had they showed a show that had an intermission, and they had people come around. They're not really cigarette ladies. They had like candy bars and stuff, but in the old days, it would have been cigarette ladies. You know what I mean? Where they have a tray with like the strap around their neck, um, with the little hat on, and they would walk through the aisles, and it was pretty cool. It's like going back in time.
Yeah. Cool. And for the first time on the show, Ryan from Legion Gamer
Hey, what's
and
going
Legion
on?
Talk. I think.
Yeah, that's very. I got 57 channels apparently. No, this is actually my first time watching this movie. I had never heard of this movie, to be honest with you. But I am a huge fan. Okay, I'm a huge history buff. I almost said I'm a huge fan of World War II. That's not the way I wanted to phrase that. I'm a big history buff, so yes, this being about World War II was extremely interesting. And I was in the military stationed in Germany. At Heidelberg, which was actually was well, it was some of their headquarters, the bad guys.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of history there, and no, this was really interesting to watch.
Yeah.
So, just to put it in perspective, so for the listeners, this book is a fictionalized. This is based on a book, which is a fictionalized series of events. However, it is based on commando raids that were going on after the Germans took over the what's the name of the islands? It's like the
Leros.
dodecahedron and Supergirl, dodecahedron Island or something like that. Um, it's like because the duodecahedron is from Supergirl, the movie. That's how I kind of remember the name of it, and it was called like the the name of the island in campaign. The Germans took them over and were blocking off like trade and stuff like that, and sinking. supply ships, and they couldn't get naval assets to land on these islands. So sending in like commando raids and like insurgent raids to try to break down the German control of these islands. It's kind of a lengthy campaign. Uh, Now, the author who wrote the book kind of fictionalized an event to sort of summarize, like, in terms of historical fiction, it's reasonably accurate. You know, um, he also wrote a sequel book to this called Force 10 from Navarone, which was adapted into a sequel movie. Uh, the Force 10 from Navarone is not as good as this movie. It's also a bit less faithful adaptation. Um, it's still a good movie, just not as good as this one. And the author who wrote this is Alistair MacLean. He wrote a ton of like military fiction like type stuff. Um, you might know him. He wrote a novel called The Satan Bug, which I think some people would have heard of. Ice Station Zebra. Um, like I said, he's an. I want to read more of his stuff. Than I have not read the book for this, unfortunately. And then the director for this movie. Oh, what the hell was his name? Why can't I remember this stuff like I used to? Get medication. Uh, so J. Lee Thompson, and you would have heard of stuff he did. Charles Bronson's movie, The White Buffalo. Um, he did at least two of the Planet of the Apes movies, the original good ones. Um, he did that Richard Chamberlain movie. That was some people call it Indiana Jones ripoff. I don't remember what. Not Alan Quartermain, the other one, the sequel to it. And then you'll recognize this director's work. You know what I mean? If you look down his credits. And then you recognize the actors. I mean, Gregory Peck, you know, legendary actor. David Niven. That's why I originally watched this movie. I was like, holy crap, when I was like 15, that's Gregory Peck and David Niven. Let me check it out, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
It even
so
has a Richard Harris in it
Yeah.
for like for a scene.
We were talking about this before. There's James Darren plays that guy Spiro. He was in some science fiction stuff like the Time Tunnel TV show, for example, and a whole bunch of guest starring roles in science fiction. And obviously, there's what do you call it? The Anthony Quinn, who I was never a big fan of, but he's like a legendary actor, you know. So,
Yeah. I don't I don't think he was Greek. He's Mexican, I believe.
Yeah, he's my people.
Yeah.
yeah, well, Anthony Quinn, yeah, he's not Greek. He just plays a Greek on like thousands of TV appearances.
Yes.
He was in Lawrence of Arabia, right? Yeah, he played.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's in a bunch of stuff. Great actor.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying Anthony Quinn is not a great actor. That's just I'm not a personal like you know what I mean, like I don't go looking for his movies. I watch them when I see
Right.
them.
Yeah. Got it. You're not like a super fan or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Whereas like Gregory Peck, I'll watch every one of his films. I reviewed. He did the first Horatio Hornblower film. I reviewed that.
Right.
Yeah.
But Anthony Quinn, is he a lead in any movie? Usually
Tons of
he's.
movies. He at least one Zapata movie, plus Zorba. Who played Zorba the Greek. In was it called Zorba the Greek?
I've only ever seen him as like,
You like I know what you mean, like
but
you know what I mean, like you've seen him in passing, but he's a lead in a lot of stuff, you know.
yeah.
Like if you go look up his like filmography, you know.
Yeah. I was really impressed at the accuracy of some of the uniforms, especially the mountaineering German soldiers. Pretty much what they wore. Probably not that they didn't wear the snow thing all the time, but that style.
Yes, they wear the
It's
snow
accurate.
thing even in the desert.
Well, I mean, by the time they made this movie, it was early '60s. They would have had making like World War II uniforms down pat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you talking about the? You're talking about when they go up in the mountains, right? And they're hunting them up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah.
I called up the Wikipedia page for this film, and if you look at the graphic image, like that they used, the hand drawn thing, Anthony Quinn looks like Richard Pryor. That's the black comedian for those who don't know. You know, like sometimes when people do artwork, sometimes like I don't know what they're thinking about. You know, but I mean, this would have been a star-studded cast back in the early '60s.
Well, I mean, in 1961, they were only probably 15 years removed from actual World War II. I actually found it kind of interesting the amount of German vehicles and military assets that looked, in my opinion, actually real. I don't know where this was filmed. I didn't look into it, but I mean, it could
was,
be.
It was in Greece, and so the Greek military had a lot of surplus stuff
Okay.
from World War II. Like they hadn't. This was in the '60s, so they hadn't really modernized.
Well, that's what I was kind of thinking. I thought that maybe they had a lot of surplus from World War II, and that would have made sense because you see, German tracked vehicles and stuff like that, and dragging howitzers around and all, and it was literally. I think it was a great depiction, if you really want my honest opinion, because you have those, APCs and tanks riding through. The city, and it was actually pretty impressive. That's not modern CGI. We just know that. That's legitimate. Art. Things that can make go boom.
Yeah.
Some of the vehicles were like M8 scout cars that were just redressed a little bit, but I could tell by the wheelbase on them. But yeah, there was a lot of, because you figure when this movie came out, World War II. Maybe 20 years, right? How much stuff do we still have in the armed forces that's 20 years old that we're still using? Tons and tons of stuff, aircraft, whatever. So,
a lot more than you'd think.
Yeah, a lot of things. Because if you take care of it and you have a good maintenance plan with spare parts and replacements, that stuff can last if you take care of it. So, there was so much of it made during World War II. That what we did was we would take like destroyers and we would sell them on to like countries like Bolivia or something, and then they would use them up until like the 80s or 90s. World War II ships, literally. So there's that's why all this stuff looks so good, because it's all real.
Tell you one thing though that the military got rid of super fast was the universal camouflage pattern for y'all's uniforms.
Are you talking about the digital pattern?
Yeah, my brother told me that as soon as they came out with that, he's like, I burned my whole uniform.
Well, they changed uniforms pretty quickly.
Yeah, I was still in when they had the BDUs, the battle dress uniform, and it was, in my opinion, you had desert BDUs and you had standard BDUs. Those looked the best. That ACU pattern, you looked frumpy. I mean, it wrinkled so easily, it was just gaudy and gross.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I could complain about that, but we're not here for that. Well, we can talk about the movie. It's like...
I was just thinking like, reusing things forever. Not that. That thing.
You put it on after washing it, and it looked like Gregory Peck's suit. Terrible.
I'll still say this, and I know this is probably going to be, a hot take for at least some people. The German uniforms still to this day, and that goes opposite the American uniforms as well. The pinks and greens are some of the best looking uniforms that have ever been done.
That's because Hugo Boss designed them.
Yeah, I know. It's just too bad the bad guys were wearing them, but I mean, they were looking fresh all the time. So, but it's like. They didn't have dry cleaners then either.
Yeah. So there's Richard Harris there for one little scene.
Yeah.
So these guys were the bombers that tried to bomb it, and it didn't do anything.
Because once you see the place, the opening where the guns are at, you would have to like try to slingshot bombs in there some way or another. It's just
Yeah.
not possible with the technology they had at the time. Um, Maybe rockets could have worked, but you got to get
Well,
lined up on it, and
so
yeah,
in terms of the real world scenario, the reason they couldn't bomb the island was because they were islands, and bombing back then worked by mass saturation bombing, right?
Right.
Now, in
yeah,
terms of the movie, and this is something funny I was talking with Jake about before. Early on, they present this mountain as like you might see Casterly Rock from like Game of Thrones or whatever. This giant monotonous mountain fortress that's like a mile high and like 20 like and then later in the movie you see like they jump 100 feet into the water from where the guns are. You know, like like I guess whoever was doing the locations didn't read the script from the early part of the movie or something like that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. I mean, the first part of the movie makes it out. They got to climb it. It's the only way to get to it.
it's because they come up from the backside is why. But
Yeah.
I was thinking about look how big the guns are when we see them. The logistics of getting all that up in there was just how much money and effort they put to get these two guns in this one spot. But I get, you know, you can
well,
lock down the
in the
whole shipping
real
lane, you know.
in the real world, in the Duo Deco whatever campaign it was called on the islands. Um, Now there weren't many guns big like this. There were, I think, like a couple of clusters of 4 guns, 5 guns that were pretty big, like 300 millimeter, whatever you call it. Um, but they're mostly small, like 150s, all over the place. Like this wasn't like
Yeah.
like in the movie. There's one guns that's like
You can see in the harbor defenses there's some pretty substantial size, like
yeah
turret mounted guns. There's like a little mini castle that guards the entrance, but
yeah
yeah, I know what you're saying. Here, the thing that made these guns so dangerous is that they were radar controlled, um, which means that eh, like the first couple of ranging shots after that, once they can actually see farther than the human eye with
Yeah.
radar, so they can shoot over the horizon, which
Yes.
you normally wouldn't be able to do with just regular naval guns,
In
unless you had a
the
spotter ship and all this other stuff.
The
So it was,
Germans did
yeah,
have that capability. Actually stationed, I believe it was in Poland. They set up along the. It was kind of like an Atlantic seawall of guns that actually could shoot 50 miles over the horizon, and they could target something from way back then. And it looked something similar to these guns. So it is a legitimate thing, and there is a site in Poland where you can go visit because the artillery guns are still there, and at sea you can see the curvature of the earth, so that's why they could actually shoot over the horizon and hit boats.
right. But that's what made these guns so dangerous is that they were radar controlled, um, which made them way more accurate than just guys with binoculars looking at stuff or whatever. Also, if you look at like how complicated the actual fire control is, like how many people it takes to like fire the guns and get them aimed and all that other stuff. Yeah, they're not. It's a big major operation that they
Yes.
have going on. It was pretty cool watching them do all that.
Well, one thing that I really enjoyed about the fact is that they actually got the Germans. I hate to say this too. It's the reason they almost won, and I'm not joking. They were so close to having the atomic bomb before anybody else that had they have gotten it, the world would be a very different place. Uh,
Yeah.
but the Germans were extremely technologically advanced. They had the first
Yeah. They
jets
had
on the planet.
they had
You know,
really good equipment.
yes, they
There's no
were.
denying that.
No, and they've made through just horrendous experiments. They made breakthroughs in medicine and stuff like that. But anyway, the Germans were so good at building fortifications and concrete bunkers in rock and stuff like that. They are still littered throughout the whole of Europe where they were
yeah.
stationed, and there are ones that even on the island chains and all that kind of stuff, they're still standing to this day, unless the Germans specifically or the Allies specifically basically destroyed them, scuttled them.
By the way, for you sci-fi fans out there, this movie slash book was loosely adapted into original series Battlestar Galactica episode called "The Guns on Ice Planet Zero."
Oh, really?
Ah,
I did. I read that. Yeah. No, I didn't.
That's
I didn't
awesome.
know that. 'Cause I did a little background on it. So that was actually interesting to know. I've never seen Battlestar Galactica. Don't shoot me. It's on my list to watch, but
Yeah.
I would like to watch that now that
The
I know
original
this.
series is like awesome. It's one of my 5 favorite TV shows of all time.
Okay.
Yeah, the last part of this kind of reminded me of Star Wars. They're like, oh, we're about to shoot the guns, and then boom, it blows up.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Notes there. You know.
Yeah.
more or less.
This movie goes pretty in depth. It shows like the planning phase, the getting the team together phase, the traveling to the dungeon phase, the you know what I mean? So like if this is like a tabletop RPG, it's the full thing. There's no skipping to
Yeah.
you're at the dungeon door.
Yeah.
This is you got to walk through the forest and the orcs attack you kind of thing.
Well,
In my opinion, it kind of goes on for a little too long. Which
Yeah.
is why I think when you watch it on TV and they trim some out, it doesn't affect the quality of the movie at all, in my opinion.
Well, this movie to me is both too long and too short at the same time. Like, I got a
Right?
sense that
Yeah, it's too long to be a movie, but too short. It should have been a miniseries
if
to
they
get
would have
everything
made
in.
sure with more elements from the book added in, rather than having them jump skip around, you know. On the other hand, like you're right, like somewhere between the first half an hour and the last half an hour, they could have cut 20 minutes out of this movie.
Easily,
Yeah.
and it still would have worked just fine.
Yeah, they probably could have even cut out maybe 30 minutes of it, and it would have still worked just fine. So there was a lot of, in my opinion, kind of like in between that just it it served the plot, I guess, in a sense, but wasn't needed to understand it.
Well, there's the scene
Especially-
where they escape from the Germans, right? And then they need a new truck, so they're fixing it, and they get some other Germans to slow down, and they kill them and throw their truck over a cliff. Like,
Yeah.
they could have just shown them in another truck. Like we were intuited, they stole another truck. You know?
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of the style of editing and storytelling that they
Yeah.
were still kind of in at that time, where they, like, there's literally movies where you see the person walk out of their house, get in their car, buckle up, drive down the road, and then arrive and get out and walk in. Like, they felt like they had to show everything, and it's an art, it's an old style of editing and storytelling. And also, this movie was split in two, so we got a break in the middle if you watched it when it came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get a reload of the popcorn bucket.
Yeah, much needed.
Well, it's also back when movies had intermissions. We don't do that anymore. Like we play the movie throughout, right? Like, and I mean, I had a grandmother. I've seen movies with intermissions before, not at a theater, but on TV. And she was very much alive during this. So I think because it had an intermission, much like plays do, is still in today's world. You see a theatrical play that's 3 hours long, they're going to have an intermission for you.
Yeah.
I think they should bring them back.
I wouldn't be angry about it. I mean, because trust me, when watching like Avengers Endgame, and you're like, "Oh, dude, I gotta use the bathroom." Like, you run to the bathroom, you pee as fast as you can, which is easier for the dudes, and then you run back, and it's like, "Do you wash your hands?" And you're like, "Yes," but it was really fast.
Yes.
You gotta like be watching the movie and be like, okay, this is like they're talking like it's a CW coffee shop scene. Time for me to go. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, Lord Guccifer is ill.
Oh.
See that chair in the background there? My family had like 10 of those chairs.
Those. Okay, so this is how old I am. We had chairs like that in grade school. I'm not kidding.
Well, I think they were school chairs. I think they just
Yeah.
took them from school.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. I like his little coffee table thing.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I'd like to have
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, in one of the previous shots where we stopped with that clock on the mantle, my grandmother had that clock, and because it has the little, I guess it's what's considered the pendulum, but it has like 4 weights on it, and it spins back and forth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my grandmother had that. Like, so it might have been a knockoff at the time, but I mean, I don't know.
One of my favorite planes. The cool little plane.
Yeah, seaplane. Imagine for a short time they had it where you could fly across the Pacific in one of those as it was a passenger line to get all the way to Hawaii and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah. What's cool I also like about these shots is all the fortifications here, like how cool they are, and these are all real. They're not sets or anything.
No.
That boat looks like one of those cars that float.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be Cyprus, right?
This part, maybe. This is when they're getting first day 1800 hours, getting it all together.
I know they film most of it on roads.
That's a nice pipe.
So even when you're on a secret mission, there's still times where you have to wait.
Wow.
That's the motto of the military. Hurry up and wait.
Yes, yes, it is. And also at the same time, well, at least in today's world, smoke them if you got them is still a thing. So, like, if you're a cigarette smoker, you get extra breaks because you need to smoke. But if you're not, they're like, dude, what are you doing? Go back to work. Like, go away. And you're like, I knew people that took up smoking just to take an extra couple of breaks through the day.
I feel like you should get like those bubble blowers that look like cigarettes. You should just blow bubbles instead. Like, I'm smoking. It's just bubbles.
I used to just go out to the smoke pit and just sit out there sometimes when people were smoking, because they were like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm having a smoke break." They're like, "Where's your cigarette?" And I was like, I'm out here with them. I'm getting secondhand smoke." They wouldn't say anything.
I got the short end of the stick because my squad leader smokes, so it's like that didn't work. So he'd be like, "Why are you here?" Whatever, man. Like, all right.
Yeah, I for real would find those like bubble blowers that look like cigarettes and just be out there. What are you talking about? I am smoking. It just looks different than yours.
Haven't you heard of bubble smoke? Come on.
Exactly.
You know, I always wondered how Telly Savalas did not wind up in this movie.
Yeah, he's one that they would throw in an ensemble movie like this. I like this part. They're going over the plan here, and they find a guy eavesdropping. Like, okay, we want you to arrest this guy and keep him locked up for such amount of time. It's like, I'm
In
not
the
going to do that.
gulag.
Okay,
Well,
we'll just shoot him.
At first, I think they were just going to kill him,
Yeah.
but then they were like, "All right, we'll lock him up," and then they're like, "Well, we'll kill him again if you don't." I think that's how it went. But look at this guy. They were like, "He's the laundryman." He was listening at the door, and they're like, "This is top secret, dude. What are you doing?" Like, you know what I mean? And he's like, "Well, we'll just let him go. He's worked here for months." Like, that doesn't mean he can't be a spy. Why was he hanging around outside the door?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there were spies everywhere, so that's probably because I did have a couple of gripes about the movie. I don't think that they would have been like going, "Oh, well, I mean, it's a coincidence." I think they'd have been like, "Dude, what are you doing?" And well, no, it's like you're lurking around at the door. They probably would have just shot you and then slipped your body into a laundry bin and rolled you out and dumped you.
So this scene that we're seeing here, you've seen this in quite a few of these movies with like the Dirty Dozen and all that, where the special forces guys get crap from the regular guys, and that was a legitimate hostility from when special forces first got established at the end of World War II, up until literally like the late 70s, when it was no longer tolerated, that the straight military would be not like the special ops guys. Like they would not consider them real soldiers and type of stuff like that. Then in the late 70s, there was no zero tolerance for that sort of consideration anymore, and they became like another branch of the military type of thing.
Yeah. I mean, he says, well, we'll just shoot him then if you're not going to lock him up, and we'll just shoot you too. Which was, yeah, if you're going to mess with a top secret mission that has a lot of lives at stake. Yeah.
Yep. The only way to ensure absolute security is to make sure all of the holes are plugged.
By making
Sometimes with
holes.
bullets. But you know.
Well, the missions, these kind of missions were so imperative during World War II because there really were spies literally everywhere. I mean, look at the movie U-571. It's there was no U-boat called U-571, but it's based on so many missions, kind of like this, to actually capture the Enigma machine. That it's like, if you interfere, even if you're somebody who is an American officer or a British officer, the imperativeness of the mission actually surviving is something that, quite frankly, you're either going to get on board or, yeah, we're going to send you back home and you're going to be demoted to private and have a nice life because you're probably going to get dishonorably discharged.
Yep.
Yeah. Even Anthony Quinn's character here, he was searching the room for bugs and stuff before they caught that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, the Germans were insanely crafty. They really were. And I'm not joking. There were, a lot of people don't know this, there were U-boats that made it to American shores more than once with German spies. And there are people just thinking like, oh, they never made it here. It's like they sunk our boats along the way from America to to reinforce the Allies before the U.S. got involved. But no, there were German U-boats that made land. Numerous.
They also had a thing called the Goliath. It was a remote-controlled mini tank with explosives, and they could drive it. It had a cable that trailed behind it with a joystick control, and you could drive it into like a bunker or under a vehicle and blow it up.
Yep.
It also had a special anti-ship bomb that was TV guided. Literally had a TV camera in the front of it that transmitted back to the plane, and you steered it in. And they used it to sink some Italian ships after the Italians surrendered because they didn't want them to. They didn't want those to be used by the Allies, and they were like parked in port. So they flew over and they sunk those ships with a remote controlled, basically glide bomb. I was amazed when I heard that. I was like, holy smokes! They were doing all kinds of crazy stuff. It is kind of their problem, though, is that they were doing too much crazy programs, and they, you know what I mean? Like they had too many irons in the fire, trying to do all kinds of stuff, and they were wasting resources on things they could have just focused on something good. But
Yeah, maybe if they hadn't spent all of their resources on those particular camps, they could have, actually won the war. I don't know. Just my thought.
Their military philosophy of waging war against the Soviets in the winter was pretty much the death knell to the war.
Yeah, and that's the biggest one right there, is because had they faced the Allies on the Western Front alone and actually possibly toppled England, the United States would have sat there and been like, okay, we might have a problem here.
Yep.
And then if they wanted, and then of course if they started marching, east towards the Soviets, and maybe made a foothold there, at least. The problem was they were spread too far outwards. But again, that's also to say too is that there's a lot of their scientists defected, and that's how the United States got our atomic bomb first. They were doing atomic bomb tests. The Nazis were. Had they gotten the atomic bomb, you drop a couple of those and
we'd be all speaking German right now.
Exactly.
You got to remember, like, they might have been able to 2 or 3 atomic bombs. The engineering to mass build atomic bombs did not really happen until the late 1950s, early 1960s. Like the U.S. only had like 5 to 20 bombs through the mid 50s, and then they had to engineer a whole development. Like people miss, like, science is great. You develop something, But then you have to develop a whole
Roman!
materials process and a whole engineering manufacturing process to be able to mass produce something. You know, so yeah, having the bomb would have been bad, but like I said, it wouldn't have mattered on the Russian front because they, the Russian winter was killing more Germans than the Soviets did. You know, and
Oh yeah, absolutely.
and the Nazi leadership was so idiotic about trying to conquer Russia. And you know what that was a leftover of? For those who don't know this, socialism was largely born in Germany, and then the socialists kicked the communists out of Germany, and they went to Russia and China. So, like the German socialists and the Nazis were socialists, hated the communists. So
But they're
that's kind of
salty.
what that whole war issue, and so the Nazis were obsessed with killing the commies, you know, and
Yeah.
it's a really convoluted, like there's a lot more at play than just like Hitler wanted to conquer the world. You know what I mean? It was like
Right.
so much like economic history and political history and you know, like there's a book by William H. Shire, who's a journalist, Pulitzer Prize winning journalist. It's called The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich, and a lot of this he was embedded in Germany until like the beginning of like halfway through World War II, and he wrote this history book, which historians hate because he wasn't a historian, but it very accurately details like how the Weimar Republic fell to the socialists and how the Nazis rose and how they rose to power and the flaws of the Nazi government and all that sort of stuff. You know, if you ever want to read something interesting.
Yeah, I think there were so many scenes in this movie that I guess were fine, but they weren't exactly necessary. Like I mean, there are other movies that just show a map. Oh, they're here, and now we're going here, and they don't actually show the travel.
I do love their enthusiastic special effects guys with
Yes.
the over the top explosions. These are like 1960s bass explosions.
Yeah,
It's like
I just think some of the traveling from one place to another may have been a little bit longer than it needed to, especially because
oh hell yeah.
it's not based on an actual real world event. It is based on similar events turned into a novel.
Yeah.
And then you put the novel to the movie. You probably could have cut some of that out, or make it 30 seconds. It doesn't need to be a 4-minute kind of thing, and I think that's where they may have went a little overboard. But then again,
yeah. But they also what they might have gone overboard on it, but they did it good. I mean, it wasn't
no, it's
bad
very
what they
good.
did.
no, none of it's bad. Just a little overzealous, I guess.
Yeah.
The movie is, like I said, it's both too long and too short, but it's not. You could still enjoy it. You just got to take a break once or twice during the movie.
Yeah.
I really like this storm scene. The mini work with some of the shots and the foam spraying all over the place. I thought it was that I can when I saw this, when I was not surprised to see that they won an Oscar for the special effects.
Mm-hmm.
It was really good.
Well, given the time period, yeah, the special effects were incredible.
Yeah, I still do believe that miniatures have a place in filmmaking.
Yeah, there's some directors out there that are coming back to that.
Didn't that new movie with the rock creature thing in it? What's it called?
Project Hail
He was a
Mary.
puppet.
Yeah, Project Hail Mary wasn't a lot of that practical.
Yeah, the rock
Yep.
creature was a puppet.
It was a puppet, yeah. And like Puppet Yoda looks so much better than that CGI monstrosity.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Who was the last place they used Puppet Yoda? Wasn't it episode 1 and then episode 2? That's when they turned
Yeah,
into CGI thing.
Correct.
They turned him into CGI. But
Well, I know later on, obviously at the end of the movie, because he's jumping around, "Roar!" doing all that like stupid crap, but like,
yeah, I think isn't the new Mandalorian that thing's a puppet, right? The
That's
big
my
boat.
understanding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grogu is a puppet, and it even whether you like it or not, it still looks much better than if it would just be CGI, because the
Right.
way it moves is the way the little thing jumps off a chair. Somebody has to make it look like it's jumping off the chair.
It looks
Mm-hmm.
like they literally take the doll or puppet and they throw it.
Yeah,
Yes.
It does.
Yeah.
It looks like
Exactly.
they're throwing a puppet to get it to move. Yeah,
I
it's funny.
Well, I mean, because doesn't it like get thrown across the way a couple times, and that's
it
what
does.
makes me
It
laugh,
does.
because I'm like,
It's my biggest problem with. I don't want to get into it. Anyway, using miniatures is the way to go. Also, this guy's fur coat would be drenched in water and never dry out,
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
and probably stink like who knows what.
oh yeah,
No,
goat.
it's coated in like whale oil or something, right? You know.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah. But when these guys get in the storm, then this is no joke.
Yeah, we get a little
Yeah.
background about Stavros and Mallory's characters and their history. I like this. Good fill-in.
Yeah, and I didn't have a problem with it being too dark either.
So it's like nowadays they'd film like this in a studio or whatever. And back then it's like, oh my God, thank God there's a horrible storm coming, guys, get on the boat. You know?
Uh,
well, yeah, and if nobody's ever actually been in, kind of like a storm like that, like, dude, like, it's going to be seriously dark.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you've ever been to a coastline when it's pitch black and there's no lights around the coast, kind of similar to,
Yeah.
I know people had problems with House of the Dragon season 1 when they're they're walking on the beach. It's dark as all get out. Like, if there's no lights, it's pitch black almost.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh yeah, 100%. Unless there's like a full moon, and then you got good lighting on the beach. But like on the beach in the middle of the night, like it's dark.
Oh yeah, no, I mean I lived in Florida, and I had a girl that her and I, we used to walk on the beach and stuff like that, and we would go as far away from everybody as we could, and the farther you walk down the beach away from the lights, the darker it gets, legitimately dark, like it's just almost pitch black.
About 15 years ago, like the hospital patient now, I was also an employee at, and I'm leaving work around 5:30 in the afternoon, about to go out to the bus stop in front of the hospital. As I'm walking, I see it was like light out. It starts getting darker and darker. So now this is like 5 o'clock in the afternoon in the summer. It gets so dark, you needed lights to see outside. And then when I walk out the door, you could smell the ozone, and like the rain came down in a sheet, as if someone jumped a giant bucket on the city I was in, and I saw people getting knocked down. The rain hit them so hard, you know, and like injured, knocked down. And I ran back in the building. I'm like, I ain't going to the bus stop like that.
Not today. Not
And
today.
20 minutes later, it started to get lighter, and the rain lightened off, and it was light rain for a couple hours, Like it was so dark and intensity storm for like 20 minutes or whatever, Like it's crazy when the weather does that.
Yeah.
I mean, crazy in a good way, but like crazy. Unless you're the one who gets knocked down by the massive sheet of rain, then that sucks for you, but not for me.
Or you feel
Right.
the hair on the back of your neck stand up,
Mm-hmm.
and then a lightning bolt right behind you. Yeah.
Been through a few hurricanes. It's an interesting experience, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine, I can't imagine, being at sea on a boat during like a tropical storm, which is this kind of seems kind of like what it is. Not
Yeah.
the gale force of a hurricane, but you're still talking about tropical storm winds and stuff like that, 50 miles an hour easily, 40, 50, I think 60 mile an hour gusts before you get to hurricane territory.
Yeah. And you get some rock climbing here, and really the only rock climbing is this part here in the beginning.
See, that's the part I'd be out. Nope, not climbing no rocks. I don't want to do it. I don't like heights. Nope. I'm gonna stay on the boat. You signed up for this. No, I decided to climb nothing. None of that crap. And you're all tethered together too, which is like a standard rope. So like you have to trust the guy above you that he's got a good foothold, and then the guy below you, because if the guy above falls, then this guy who's second is meant to basically catch him because of the rope.
Right.
Well, he's supposed to be planting like what do they call pistons or pittons or something like that.
Yeah, they're pins into the rock face.
Yeah.
But I mean, even with that, people still fall all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We have climbers in today's world. I mean, we're how many years far removed from this, and with better technology, and you still find climbers that fall and they die.
There are people who free climb mountains, and I'm like, what the fuck? You know?
They're psycho. That's what it is.
Yeah.
They're masochists and adrenaline junkies.
Yeah.
Adrenaline, yeet.
But remember, it's not the fall that kills
No.
It's hitting the bottom.
you. Yeah. It's the sudden stop at the bottom.
Ironically, most people have heart attacks, but I don't know how fast you'd have a heart attack from that height.
Yeah.
I think it just depends on the condition of your heart and how old you are.
Yeah.
If you're old doing that, you are asking for it.
They also say one of the reasons it happens is because the body knows it's going to not survive, so it just automatically does something to save you. It's kind of like if the mind knows it's not going to survive, so it's like, well, I don't know. I mean, I've read research, but anyway, I hate heights, so that's why you won't get me on it.
Yeah, me too.
I went on top of the stratosphere once, like on the observation deck above, and a friend was like, "Hey man, you want to ride that slingshot thing, the big old center freaking pole?"
Yeah, right.
You know, I'm like, "No," and I'm like, "Dude, I can feel it moving under my feet with the wind," and he's like, "No, you can't." I mean, "Yes, I can." I'm like, "I'm going down and down now." It's like,
I just saw a video of one of those like slingshot things where the band broke on one side.
Oh yeah.
You never catch me in those, man.
well,
Never.
that roller coaster that was around the edge of the stratosphere used to break down all the time, and people would be stuck on it mid, like riding around the rim. Like, how do you rescue them?
Helicopter or jet, maybe? I
Oh,
don't know.
sends chills up my spine thinking about how you get out of there.
You don't.
Actually, I don't think anybody's died, but I don't care to tempt fate.
No. Not worth it.
These guys really needed Fezzik.
They did. They really did. Could have thrown rocks at the Germans. Yeah, he gets injured pretty bad here. Breaks his leg in a few places. Yeah, I love the Anthony Quinn's character. Just use a bullet. It's easier.
When he said that, it reminded me of what was that Canadian Bacon movie when the Special Forces guys are rolling through the woods. One of them stubs his toe. Immediately shoot him.
Just shoot him. Yep, shoot him. It's like, why? I saw you with that German back there. Why didn't you kill him? You missed. He's basically there to do the job and not worry about anything else. He's killed too many people with a knife. Also, this guy was in Zulu, the movie we did a while back. He was the head guy.
Did we lose audio for everybody?
I don't know.
No, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
What?
No, I'm muting because of hospital noises. Is that the character Butcher?
He's the head guy. the guy in charge.
Oh, you mean the guy who got injured, the major?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to basically stretch him out of there.
Yeah.
Which during that
That's
kind of a mission,
Anthony Quayle. You should recognize him. He's another guy in Lawrence of Arabia. Oh, what else was he in? Some Roman movie. I don't remember.
Yeah, this guy here was in Zulu.
And he was
I
in.
don't remember his name.
Stanley Baker.
There you go.
He was in one of my favorite horror movies. Would star Kirk Douglas, called Holocaust 2000. It's kind of a biblical horror movie, but it's really good, better than it sounds. You know?
What I like about this scene is that the German here is not a dupe. It's not. They don't portray the Germans as like buffoons or stupid in this movie at all. Because he's like, oh, okay, cool, and then he immediately hits the alarm button after he gets off the phone with them, because he's like, something's not right.
I mean, he might as well have said, "We're all okay here.
Here, how are you? Yeah, everything's fine."
Well, his German was fine, but his accent was like, it sounded like, he was just, I was like, dude's not gonna believe this.
Well, here's the other thing is, if you have any doubt at all, just send
you hit the
there.
button.
Yeah.
Right.
Raise the alarm.
To check everything out. Yeah. See. So it wasn't, it very well, how many times when you were in the military would you have gone up there and nothing was wrong? The guys were just up there smoking and joking or whatever, and you'd have to go at them and whatever,
all the time. I was military police, and so I mean, even working garrison stuff, just like standard police work, we'd get silent alarms all the time, or fire alarms. You'd show up and it'd be like, oh, there's nothing going on. Like, what the hell triggered it? Nothing.
Right. Somebody, I propped open the door for my smoke break, and and you're like, that door's supposed to be secure all the time. Nothing like getting a call on the weekend because somebody did that and then went home and forgot.
Yeah, we had literally a building on the hospital part that the fire alarm would just randomly go off.
Yeah, yep, yeah, it's got like old wiring or something in it.
Yep, and it just randomly go off. So
nowadays
the fire department show up like in nothing.
Nowadays the software is not updated right or something. It caused it to trip alarms.
Yeah. Or it's haunted.
It's funny you mentioned that his German accent wasn't good. Gregory Peck didn't speak German or Greek, so he was dubbed whenever he has to speak another language.
I didn't know that. I did not know that.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I don't know, like, a lot of some movies, if they speak like Japanese or German, it's all gibberish, but I'm pretty sure that the quality of this movie, they were probably speaking real German.
Oh yeah, no,
yeah,
they were speaking real German, because
The Longest Day definitely did. Because they had German actors in it and everything. Which is why that movie's so good, is they portrayed every side appropriately, with the appropriate actors that knew how to speak the language. Many of them had been in the military during that time, so they knew exactly how to act, what they were talking about. Some of them had even been like in those operations, Inglorious Bastards, Arrivederci, yeah.
Arrivederci, yeah.
There's no way Brad Pitt was passing for an Italian.
No.
Yeah, no, they if you listen when they talk during the movie and stuff like that, they start a few conversations with Ik ben, basically, and Ik is actually means I, so, and they actually do that more than once, and I think they actually, at least on the German side, I kind of feel like they actually got real German actors or German actors adjacent, because they were very, very good at speaking. So I think again, the English actor. They probably dubbed over with maybe an Englishman or something like that actually knew German, because it did come off slightly comical, almost to the point of like going, I was terrible. Like, it's like the German's a very harsh language. Ich, eins,
Yes.
you know, mach schnell, stuff like that. It's got a very to it.
Yeah.
Phlegm.
Yeah, I took 3 years of it before I went to Germany. I always wanted to go to Germany, and I took 3 years in high school, and it's got a very hard to it.
Yeah.
Just hockaloogie. You're speaking
Yeah.
German.
Yeah, this guy knows he's slowing him down,
Yep.
so he tries to self-delete.
What he should have done, and I'm surprised he didn't do it, as the commander, he should have ordered them to leave him behind. That's all he had to do, was just order them to do it, and they would have had to do it.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that he didn't actually order that, because given their mission, it was so
Right.
detrimental that he was a massive liability.
They did have a plan, though. They weren't going to like drag him the whole way. They were going to take him to the meetup spot and hand him off to the resistance. And if you can, I can see maybe trying to make that kind of decision if you weren't getting pressured. Were these uniforms you were talking about?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that they were.
I mean-
snow uniforms.
There's not much snow in this scene, but those are very accurate.
Yeah,
I
they're
think like the plot element, how Gregory Peck used his character in the final third of the film.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they were trying to go for the fact that because the Rock is so white, standard German uniforms just have that drab gray. So they would probably stick out like a sore thumb, at least maybe in those. But yeah, they look like, I mean, they look like they have like standard like winter gloves on too.
Yeah.
If you're you're in probably one of the most humid places ever, you would be dying.
Yeah. Now, from what I looked up, their uniforms were actually a green color. That would have been underneath the white snowy outfit. So at least it wasn't gray.
None of that. No yawning. I'm about
Sorry.
ready to yawn.
Sorry.
Like,
I didn't think you could hear me.
I did. I heard.
I moved away from my mic even.
Patient zero for the yawn. It's gonna travel.
Oh, it travels.
They actually look like rebel snowtroopers from The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, they do.
They do.
Yeah.
And in the Battlestar Galactica episode, you will see, I think, the species of giants that they meet on the planet dressed like that.
Okay. Well, a lot of what George Lucas did, actually for the Empire was taken from the Third Reich.
Yeah.
So that doesn't surprise me in any way, shape, or form. And the Third Reich did have jungle uniforms. They did. So, but their standard garrison uniform was that gray that is so infamous.
Yeah.
David Niven always looks so classy, even when he's dirty.
That is a really good tactic, using a sniper to pin down a bunch of dudes, keeping them busy. And he makes it to the hideout before they do.
Well, yeah, what was it? The movie Stalingrad? I don't know if you guys ever actually saw that. It was dueling snipers. It was a Russian sniper versus a German sniper, and one single sniper in a specific area can keep people at bay because, I mean, quite frank, and a lot of people don't know this, most helmets don't stop bullets from rifles, large rifles. It might stop it from a standard rifle, but not like a high-powered sniper rifle, which is meant to, travel extremely long distances. So,
Correct.
Yeah,
you're gonna get your
direct impacts on helmets, once they hit a certain energy threshold, would go right through them.
Yep.
But the goal was to prevent like soldiers from getting killed from like angled shots or incidental reflections
Yep.
from shrapnel or explosives, because the human skull would not last very long if you like if there's enough shrapnel going off near you, you'll get peppered and dead. You know.
Right.
Oh yeah, I mean it craters your skull. It creates a vacuum, then blows out the other side.
This is funny. They catch somebody outside. Looks like a dude. Oh no, it's not a dude.
It's a woman. Ah, a woman.
I wonder if that actually was a guy that they dragged in there and they switched.
Probably.
I mean, it was a little bit slightly more physical of a scene, so maybe could have been, yeah.
That's a tough Greek woman.
Yes.
Well, because I like it in this scene later with the other lady, like, she kind of gets thrown to the ground a little bit, and I'm like, did she really do that? But the way she lands and you see her face, I'm assuming she really did that.
Yeah. They did have female stunt people too back then.
Yep. It looks like just a standard actress, though, so she might have just taken the dive on her own. She's probably a nobody, so she's like just excited to be in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that really kind of got me is I can't remember the character's name, but they let her drive all the time. I mean, obviously she knows the area, and that would make sense, but, I was like, oh, I guess,
That bothered me, too.
It didn't bother me. I was just surprised.
I don't think that would have been... that would have went down.
No, I think they let her drive because she was capable of doing it, and she knew the roads, right? That's what made sense to me.
She got really close to that cliff that one time, and they all kind of
I mean, she is a woman.
Plus, remember, the driver,
wow.
they're all armed to the teeth.
Right.
The driver can't drive and shoot
Yeah.
it all at the same time. So letting her drive lets them...
All I'm saying is that all the propaganda that were pushed into our brains today about how bad the patriarchy was back in the day, and honestly, in real life, for the resistance, women were a huge part of it because they weren't suspected as being a spy or capable
I'll give you
of
one name, buddy.
all this stuff.
I believe her name is Olga Kirienko or Kirienkosov or something like that. World War I Soviet female sniper. One of the deadliest killers who ever touched a gun in any war that had guns.
Yep.
Well, yeah, absolutely. There was a whole entire, actually, basically platoon of Soviet women snipers.
Mm-hmm.
Women are very capable. I'm just saying, in a mission heavy, maybe have her sit in the middle and somebody else drives, and she's like, go this way, go this way, go this way. Like, she looks so out of place riding with the German soldiers because they're all dressed in Nazi uniforms, and she's driving, and it's like...
Yeah, you do got a good point there. If I was a guard, I'd been like, hey, what's going on here?
Yeah, I'd be like, who the hell is
guns.
she? Why is she driving?
They're the guns up in the cliff. Yep. Well, yeah, because why an official German government vehicle? That doesn't make any sense either.
Well, there's a lot of little details like that in this movie. You kind of have to... There's like a...
Well, yeah. Well, I was just going to say, yeah, also at the same time, the individual who's wearing the Nazi SS uniform, who would have been the, maybe not the ranking officer per se of just standard rank, but would have been in charge of finding people like literal, sympathizers and spies. He was riding in the back, and I'm like, that dude should have been up front. Somebody who is actually in a leadership position, riding up front, should have been wearing the standard, because you can tell by the lightning bolts on the right side of the collar. That's the only SS uniform that I saw that any of them wore.
Yeah.
But I digress. I jumped way ahead.
That's right. So that guy's got gangrene now. So they got to get him to a doctor.
That's awfully friggin' fast to get gangrene.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually it takes more time than that, right?
It's not. I don't even think it's been 2 days yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it takes like 3-4 days of an infection.
Well, maybe it's Nazi gangrene. You know. It's like-
Yeah,
It's
probably-
super gangrene.
It's Hollywood gangrene.
Yeah. Luckily, it plays cigarettes to smoke and has a known retarding effect on gangrene, right, guys?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Cut it off, Roman says.
But that they gave out a pamphlet when I was on active duty that talked about like it's part of the Siri training and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I didn't really actually go through it, but they had a lot for whatever reason. They were handing all this stuff out, and it had a medical thing in there, and it talked about if you're ever captured and they give you like by the Geneva Convention are supposed to give you cigarettes and stuff like that. And it had all these uses for tobacco for medicinal reasons, like pack it in your ear if you have an earache kind of thing. You could brew tea out of it and drink that, and that was supposed to help with like toothaches and stuff. So it was just more for smoking, you know. So I don't know, maybe you could, you know, put honey on a wound, that kind of thing.
Didn't cigarettes used to come in A rations? Or
They
C
did.
rations? They were C rations.
They were part of your actual ration pack. Like
Okay, yeah.
from whatever kind you got, all the way to almost. I don't think they were in the emergency rations, but they were in anything up to that. You got that, and then there was like gum or Charms candy or whatever.
Yeah, and I think C rations were big during World War II.
Yeah.
And after that, the post Korean Vietnam era is when they came with the A rations, and then of course the current MREs.
Right. Yeah, and the even the older MREs never had cigarettes in them or anything. They stopped doing that like in the 70s, I think.
Yeah, no, they had that nasty ass charm candy. They had the chiclet gum, and they had a little thing of Tabasco.
Yeah, well, they didn't originally have Tabasco in them. They added that later.
Thank God they had the Tabasco.
Yeah, well, that's why they added it, because the other
Yeah.
stuff is so terrible.
Brief aside, I watched some dude open a World War II, like whatever the MRE was called back then, and
Yeah, the C ration. Yeah.
and it was edible. It wasn't poisonous, but it was gray goo.
Yeah.
I
So-
believe that.
So when I was a kid, my father brought home like a Vietnam era K rations from like 1974, and it had like a little can opener, P38 can opener, and we opened it up. It had like chicken, almost like chicken of the sea kind of can.
Yeah.
It had a can with little crackers in it, and then it had a can of peaches, and then it had a thing with like a chocolate bar, and it was actually really good because, you know, this was probably like 1980, I think, so it really wasn't that old. It was still well within its eat-by date, you know.
Yeah, I mean, and the whole Tabasco thing too. A lot of people don't realize that during World War I, the reason ketchup was actually invented was to help the soldiers eat meat that was slightly over the shelf date, if you want to put it that way. It was slightly spoiled, but still edible. So that's where you get ketchup from.
And I remember my dad's bowling team had like this old Vietnam guy on it, and he said, always eat your peaches first. And I was like, why? And he's like,
Oh.
'cause you might get shot. So always eat the dessert first out of the package.
To Natty's comment there, modern MREs taste pretty good, depending which one you get.
I actually got several boxes because I lived in Florida for so long. I have like probably a good 8 boxes of A rations, and they're still very edible.
Yeah.
The tortellini,
Well, they last
is
forever,
good. There's the barbecue beef cubes are decent. There's a new one. It's what is it, like fajitas or something? They got
Yeah.
new ones. They got like pizza and stuff.
Yeah.
But the older ones, okay, so they had the original ones were in a brown package. Those
Yep.
sucked. And now they got a beige one, and it's got the little heater element thing in there.
Yeah.
Although I think if you cook your food with that, it makes the whole thing stink. So I never used it.
I tried to use it, and the heater would actually expire faster than the food would. So you'd pour water in it, and it'd get hot
Yeah.
for like 5 seconds, and then it would fizzle out.
Yeah,
And
and it just that steam just stunk. I did not like
Oh,
it.
yeah, absolutely. It's a chemical reaction. It was
Yeah.
like you're not supposed to
Yeah.
drink the water; it'd kill you. It says on the thing, "Don't drink the water."
That modern MREs are highly edible, if not great. Like you could sort of enjoy them compared to like what they had to do in World War II or Vietnam.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, even standard MREs to this day, they're just meant to survive. It's meant to be your daily amount of calories to get by, just in case. Which most MREs are in the neighborhood of 15 to 1600 calories. Eat those for a couple of days in the freaking wilderness, doing your training and stuff. You're gonna be stopped up worse than a freaking
Yeah.
sink.
That's why some of them have chewable gum.
Uh
for
huh.
that. Because the reasoning is they don't want you having to, in the middle of combat, stopping and having to take a dump. So they, after you get where you're going, then you can eat the gum.
When I was in basic training, I didn't take a dump for 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, I remember there's one time I didn't do that for 5 days easily. I was just like, what's wrong? Because we didn't know at the time. You know, I was an 18-year-old kid. I'm like, what's wrong with this stuff? It's like, yeah, no.
Well,
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
that first one is really nice.
if you empty yourself out enough, because it takes like 2 to 4 days for like the food to get from your mouth to the other end. So if you empty yourself out enough, you might not go for like 2-3 days. You know,
I literally did not go for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I wasn't eating that much either, but also the water that they made us drink, that was the requirement. You had to drink 2 glasses of water at every meal. No,
Yep.
You didn't have to eat if you didn't want to, but you had to drink 2 glasses of water. It was the cloudiest, most nasty taste of water. The rumor was there was saltpeter in it. That goes back to probably like the 1800s, that rumor. There's certain rumors in the military that just will not die, and I think that's one of them. But I don't know. I kind of believe it because that water was nasty.
Well, you remember the big old water tank they dragged behind the Humvee, right?
Yeah, the water buffalo. Yeah.
Yeah, the water buffalo. Did you guys have a hydration formation?
Yeah, they made you. You had to drink the whole canteen and then refill it. Yeah.
Literally, it was one of those things, and they would say this too as you're standing in formation. You have your canteen, and they'd be like, "Drink water," and everybody have to drink, and then you'd have to stay there until you finished it.
Yeah. I went in at 145 pounds and I came out 10 pounds heavier, mostly muscle.
you built up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I built up my endurance running and stuff too. It was all right.
Yeah, I think I was at like 165, and I left at like 197. And even then, by Army standards, I was on the edge of the line. But I was like 6'3" then, and looking back, I looked sickly. So like now my normal height is 6'4", but even by the VA standards, they still say that I should weigh no more than like 200 pounds. And I'm like, I'd look ill.
Yeah. Yeah.
This guy's
those
like,
were the days.
this guy's funny. It's like,
Oh yeah,
be courageous, be a
Yeah.
traitor.
Yeah.
Yep. And he really acts good, Anthony Quinn's character, like having this breakdown, like I'm not part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But see, this whole scene doesn't make any sense because what we find out later is somebody in this lineup is not who they say they are, and yeah, maybe this guy doesn't know that person is like an asset. Maybe, I don't know, because they certainly act like it.
Probably not, because some of those places they were not trying to miss.
As portrayed, this scene is one of the most unbelievable ones, like in the movie.
Like improbable or unbelievably good?
No, unbelievable. Like you have to believe this German commander was the biggest idiot
Oh, okay, got it. Right.
since Alexander Hamilton, basically.
Yeah, I didn't care for this scene either, especially because when the Nazi SS officer walks in too, for them to be able to ambush them the way they eventually do, I was like, dude, y'all would have been mowed down by an M50.
Now
Yeah,
it does set
Uh,
up one of my favorite power
MP40,
plays.
sorry, MP40, yeah, because that's what the Germans use, the MP40,
yeah.
and that's what that standard kind of like rifle is that the machine gun with the long magazine out of it. That you see the guy in the background he has, you would have been mowed, man.
Yeah.
Now it does set up one of my favorite power plays in the movie, where Gregory Peck uses the major to plant like misinformation.
Yeah,
Right. That was really good. Yeah, he tells him basically he just lies to him, like they're gonna be that the plan has changed. They're just gonna run around and do like clandestine, like blowing stuff up to like cause chaos in the back lines. They're not going after the guns anymore because they're gonna do an amphibious landing from the Turkish side of the island, and he wants him to believe that. So when they torture it out of him, he's actually telling them what he knows, and that they'll think that that's the plan, and they'll
Right.
put all the resources there and not be
Well,
looking at the guns.
he brings up something not a lot of people know, and so the chemical he mentioned is an anesthetic, and when you go under anesthesia, before you go unconscious, like, well, to keep it simple, when you get under, like there's degrees of being anesthetized, and when you're coming out of it, you have no filter, and you have no like you can ask some, like there's videos of people like just saying the most truthful stupid things in the world, like
Yeah.
coming out of it. So that's an actual valid interrogation technique, is using chemical interrogation to get the information. You know, so uh, uh, that was pretty nifty, like as far as the writing goes, which probably came from the book, which is probably why it was so cool.
Yeah, this is the typical uh, SS German from movies.
well, I love the attention to detail on the uniforms too. As you can see, it has the 2 lightning bolts, has the 3 diamonds, and if you look at the hat, it has the eagle on the top instead. And then of course right below it actually has the SS skull and bones, crossbones, and that's a very extreme detail. Obviously, they were only probably 14, 15 years removed from World War II, but. And he's also blonde-haired and blue-eyed. That's pretty important too, because the SS were considered to be the elite of the elite.
Meaning they all had to be of the Aryan race.
Have to be very, very particular about who they let into that, because you had access to the Fuhrer a lot.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of the people that they let in were actually from Norway, Denmark, and Sweden. That they recruited.
Yep. Yeah, your standard German doesn't really fit the the perfect Aryan picture.
They don't want you to know that.
No, they don't.
Yeah, Hitler was actually shocked when the Scandinavians didn't want to join him.
And they escape right here.
Yeah, in a spectacularly almost ridiculous fashion. Again, it's a movie. I don't want to be too nitpicky, but boy, that MP40 would have went off so fast, and at least half your dudes would probably be dead.
Yeah.
Because most standard troops didn't get the MP40, by the way. Most of them were of SS detachment. Your standard troop had just like a long rifle. Having that submachine gun meant that you were more important.
Yeah. Didn't that become a more, as the war went on, a more standard weapon?
Usually it was for soldiers of again more upstanding because they were actually running low on munitions by the end and weapons. So your standard German soldier would just have like a long rifle, like what so like the Americans had the M3, yeah.
Their standard military rifle is the Kar 98, which had been the standard military rifle in World War I. It's a 5-round bolt action gun. That was what most of their soldiers carried. I mean, it was an effective firearm. It was very lethal. It just didn't have the didn't have the firepower output that you could just lay down fire like the Americans could with the M1, because that was 8 rounds of semi-automatic.
Yep.
So we're still like got like 40 minutes left.
Yeah, this movie's long.
So,
Well, look at that guy. He gets to stand guard in a rocket ship.
I've actually been to a Nazi concentration camp. That is kind of a standard little guard post. The little, just literally a box, like a telephone booth style, that you stand in as a guard. God, that would be awful. There's no chair in at least the ones that I saw. Maybe they probably removed it. But there's a picture of me standing in it again because I'm like 6'3", and I had to duck. That's how like small it was. I was like ducking down, shrugging my shoulders.
kind of like that on the Dirty Dozen, the little guardhouse that you see. And there's a little gate or something. Yeah, it's not very big. Like, gotta have this scene. You know. This part too, I was surprised they showed this scene. Torturing.
Yeah, but they're not really. They didn't like show the act of it. You know
Oh
what
no,
I mean?
no.
They're just.
No.
Yeah, you get the picture.
What it had to show him is say, no, take him to surgery and use the chemical.
Right. Yeah, that's what the officer. Because he's like, look, you're not going to break him. Let's try it that way. Plus, he might die, and then you lose everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like how they said, you know, that we're not in the habit of torturing wounded men. I'm like, oh, okay.
Well,
I think the Jews might want to talk to you a little bit. Like,
the regular German military was not in that habit. The Nazis, however, you know.
well, again, and yeah, because so your standard German soldier was considered a part of the Nazi war machine, but to be invited to the actual Nazi party or to be a part of the long arm of it, like the SS, you had to be a complete believer. So in a sense, yeah, but also at the same, capturing you know, a foreign spy would draw the SS in. I mean, without question.
Yeah.
So it's like to tell him that, and then all of a sudden, I mean, it is kind of like double-handed kind of thing.
Yeah, these people didn't. They burn this village down.
Which was standard practice for Italian.
Mm-hmm.
I like this. I like that scene. Because the one guy right there, he's just like looking, he's like, what you want? I'm just like, it was
And-
over.
No one just saw that guy get yeeted out of a truck over a bridge. No screams were heard.
Yeah, and with the way that, I mean, again, it's the 1960s, so I mean, you know, the way they club him over, both of them over the head, is really corny. But you know, yeah, I like the one guy.
One of them
He's
gets-
such a butthole that he's sitting there. He's like, "What's up? What's going on?"
What's going on?
If anything,
hear a scream?
Trying not to make this like an R-rated movie, but remember there was
Yeah.
B and like what PG and R. There was no in between.
yeah, no, there was nothing like R-rated movies. They didn't come out about to what, the 70s?
Well, I'm saying like there was no. I think rated
It's-
R. Well, let me check that. That's a good point.
Yeah, just the guy sitting there staring at him with like his hand on his face. I'm just like, you come off as suspicious.
Yeah.
Which you'd almost want him to not be suspicious. You'd want to be acting like you're trying to.
Okay, yeah. MPA was 1968.
Okay, we've all dumped a
I'm
guy off
wondering,
a
I'm
bridge.
wondering if they just had like, if it was too violent, they just wouldn't broadcast it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They wouldn't even put it in theaters.
I did like that they used like a dummy to throw off there, and then when it hit the ground, you hear the thud and just a donk. It's like,
Yeah.
So his plan works. He tells them that they're coming in the other side. So they pull all their panzers. Tanks,
look
all
at
the
those
other-
beautiful tanks.
Yep.
The attention to detail was great here.
I mean, such a short little clip. Even if
Oh.
some of them are a different tank, just made to look like one.
What's
Did
messed
a pretty
up
good
is
job.
why they're in that ruined building is not because it's been bombed by the Allies. Well, it might have been bombed by the Allies, but no one lives in the town because when the guns fire, it breaks their foundations.
Mm-hmm.
That's how powerful the guns are. The black blast from the guns causes the foundations in these older buildings to not be safe.
Yeah, that's a little sus to me, but okay. Like,
That's what they say, though.
I know what the movie said, but I'm trying to imagine, like, these guns are so ridiculously powerful that they're not just, like, if they could crack the foundation that far away, why aren't they cracking the mountain below the concrete that they put the
Yeah.
guns on? You know?
I mean, they have all kinds of stuff to minimize that too on guns.
I think it was.
And then, well, I mean, okay, let's do the spy scene first, 'cause that's what I think was coming up next.
Yeah, he figures out somebody messed with his explosives and
I
the
like that
person alone with them.
I like that he says that they're extremely unstable, and then he cracks them in half.
That's because he knows that they're not real. I guess I don't know how he figured that out. But,
Yeah, I didn't either.
but all of
until
his, like, his
later on.
timer got, the electrodes got ripped out of it, so it doesn't work. Those things don't work. The other stuff
Yeah,
got wet or something.
his fuses are all gone.
Yeah, so all of the ways that he could set the explosive off aren't working. At least the ones that are on a timer. And that's when they're like, "Hey, wait a second. This lady, she was up in the tree when the Germans found us in the mountains, and she could have signaled the plane. And then she was hanging back when we were in the tunnel. She could have left a message for him. And then when we got to the village, they knew exactly where we were at all. They knew we were at the wedding. They knew to come to the house. Like, they could find him. And then supposedly she had been captured by the Germans and whipped so hard that, like, her, like, bones on her back were showing through her skin.
Yeah.
And she had all these scars, and I was like, and she needs to show us the scars so we know that that's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And then, she's wearing a convenient dress with some buttons on the back. I don't, that one of the hardest dresses to get into by yourself.
Right.
I was a little shocked. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, as a woman who has tried to do the buttons, like, on the back by myself, like, I don't understand how people do it. I think that they're witches and voodoo magic, some sort of thing, because I couldn't do it.
Yeah, you can do it, like, you can do the upper ones, but I don't know how you do the ones behind you. You gotta have somebody help you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I was actually a little shocked given that it's the movie is probably filmed in 1960 and it came out in 1961. They did expose more than I thought they would for said.
Yeah.
Well, I think at the time that was like basically ripping all her clothes off.
Okay, I remember
probably.
seeing all sorts of beach movies by this time with bikini chicks. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just a little old-fashioned. I mean, again, I wasn't even close to alive then, so I figured that. I felt like that was a little bit racy for the moment, but I guess maybe that's just me.
No, I mean, I agree with you. It's like, it's supposed to be a racy scene in the movie. What I'm saying is, though, as far as the general audience at the time, remember, all those, like, beach movies have been coming out in, like, this time period with tons of chicks in bikinis. So, maybe it felt, okay, chicks in bikinis, we can show her back or whatever.
Yeah, and we're also like 2 years away from Cleopatra and sheer fabric and all that is revealed in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I've never watched that movie. I couldn't reference that. I don't know that.
It's over the top.
It might be worth a watch now. No, I'm kidding. I mean, I've heard about the movie more than once, but
Elizabeth Taylor in that movie, amazing.
I've seen stills. I've seen pictures. Yeah, she was something else.
Yeah, what's his name here? Kind of doesn't like what he did with the major, and it's like, you need to kill her. So he's just about to do it, and the other woman.
Well,
And
which is a
hard
good
Greek
thing.
woman does it.
She takes responsibility because she's the one who brought her in
Yeah.
on
Yep.
the mission. It's her responsibility in the because she vouched for it. So it's only appropriate that she does that. I was actually
Or she's covering up. Dun dun dun.
yeah, but I was actually surprised. I also like that when they shoot people with the silenced gun, it's a one-shot kill. It's not like you gotta mow them down. Because that one part where they get stopped and all the guys get out, and there's that one guy in the back of the truck, and the other guy lights him up. Yeah, he would have destroyed the whole vehicle because he would have shot through the driver compartment into the engine from the back.
Well, you know, maybe with their silenced guns, the bullets are made of that same overpowered plastique that their plastique is made of, and it just blows up their entire inside. You know.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, I mean, in reality, if you shoot somebody in the right spot, they're just gonna die.
No, I know, but I
Yep.
wanted to get my comments about how overpowered those are the most powerful plastic explosives in the history of movie.
Well, I think all the rounds that are stored in there go off too.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they cause a chain reaction.
Yeah,
And he did have it connected to a bomb. Or
Yeah, like-
yeah, he had he had
Casing.
something underneath the water. I didn't get a good look at what it was.
I will say this. This must be somewhat in the neighborhood of where silencers became, well, very silent. Because even if you have a silencer, it is still...
Oh, yeah, it's still loud.
You can still hear it probably a couple of houses away. It's not that quiet. Like, when you fire a silencer, it's not... It doesn't do that. Like,
You-
it still
you can-
makes
It still sounds like a gun.
Yeah,
just
it's
really
just
quiet.
extremely
It's a lot
muffled.
quieter. Yeah.
So, but yeah, you'd be able to hear it from probably easily 30 to 50 feet away. At least it wasn't the guy who was going to shoot her with the open weapon, you know, which you'd hear like halfway down the block and a mile down the road. Like, because he was just pulled out his gun and he was going to pop her. And I'm like, bro, it is dark out. What are you doing?
Now, see, if they had Telly Savalas in the film, he could have just bashed her skull in and been done with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, again.
He's crazy.
How could there be a movie about Greek warfare and Telly Savalas somehow did not wind up in this?
Yeah. I guess this was a diversionary thing or something?
Right. Yeah, they were because that was what they told him, is that they were going to attack, so they had to keep attacking places to keep them off guard. So they didn't like realize that the main target were the guns. So they wanted to keep them off balance and sending troops all over the place.
Yeah.
And that way they can get in. Plus, look at the chaos, right? They have all these trucks trying to go, and they're stopping, and then he shows up, and they basically they coattail this other motorcycle that's got the siren and the flag, like, hey, I got priority. They what do they call that when they
As one eyebrow.
when somebody, it's like a tactic
That's
that,
right there.
that people use to get into places, where there'll be somebody that like opens the door with like a pass, and you just walk in behind them like you're part of the group, and you coattail in, and then people think you're supposed to be with them, and that's how you can get into a secured location, which is what they do. They basically just drive right behind the motorcycle that everyone has just made a giant hole for to come through, because the motorcycle's got a siren and a little special flag saying, hey, I have a priority messenger. I'm going to hand deliver a message, is what he's doing. So they stop all the traffic and they let him through the gate, and then they drive through and they park the vehicle. They just don't drive up and hop out. They park it like they're doing something, and then they get out and they box. And these guys are all getting ready for their mission to fire the gun, which is why they have to wear all that fireproof like hoods and stuff.
So human beings are basically made of like water, right? If those guns are powerful enough to crack foundations, like in the town next door or whatever,
Yeah, I
these
get what you're
people
saying.
should be like splattering.
Yeah.
It'd be different if the town was directly below the aperture of the, you know what I mean, where the guns shoot out. But it's not. It's like off to the side. There's nothing below it. So
Yeah, and it looks so far up too. I think they're just trying to probably instill how powerful these guns are.
right.
Yeah.
I think they just went about it the wrong way because when they're looking from down up at the guns, they look like they're probably 5 stories up.
Yeah.
You know, because they look extremely tiny compared to when they're actually next to them once they, infiltrate and all that. It's, you know, they're just based. I mean, it's a howitzer times 1,000 is what all it is. It's just an
Yeah.
artillery, you know.
Well, these are not unrealistic guns. There were, like I said, 300 millimeter ish.
Yeah, 300, 150 millimeters. Yep, that
Yeah,
line the coast.
these are the kind of guns that the Germans liked.
Yeah.
They had them that
big
big
But
in
I'm
World
saying,
War One.
in the
Yeah.
dodecahedron islands or whatever they're called, the Germans armed the shit out of it with like 150 millimeter and 300 millimeter guns and bunkers and stuff. That's why they couldn't just take it out with cheapo air raids. They had to use commandos
Yeah.
and insurgents to try to deal with it.
Yep. The Germans did like big guns. They were compensating.
There just
I
wasn't
wonder if they were
one-
overcompensating.
There wasn't
Well-
one set of giant guns like bombarding everything all over the place. It was like there was a lot of
Yeah,
Right,
there was
yeah.
a line of them down the Polish, the French, seaboard, and their whole purpose for that shot right back there was to actually be able to shoot over the horizon of the Earth,
Right.
and they could, and they were very accurate at doing that.
yeah.
Yeah, in World War One, they made a gun so big they called it the Paris gun. It could shoot over 100 miles. And
Yeah.
when they first started, they had to account for the rotation of the Earth when
Yep.
aiming it. That's how far it
Yep.
could shoot. And when they first started shooting, nobody knew what it was. They thought they were bombing Paris with invisible planes because of how far it was shooting. There was people had no concept of a gun that big, and the barrel was so long it had to have a special cable suspension system that ran along the top of it to hold the thing up so it wouldn't droop.
Yeah.
Well, you've probably seen pictures of during World War II that they had those little artillery guns on rails. It was like a
Yeah.
giant. It's like
Yeah,
two
you had to-
rail
yeah, you had
flatbed
to have
cars together.
Right, it had to be moved by railroad track. Yeah, the
Yep.
Big Bertha is
Yep.
what it's called. Yeah.
Yeah, and they'd pull it around, and they'd bomb stuff from
And
hundreds of miles
the
away.
shells, The shells were bunker. Didn't they call them
Yeah, they were designed to destroy fortifications.
blockbusters?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, no, those were
Where the term blockbuster came from?
no, the blockbusters were British bombs that were like 4,000 pounds. When you
okay.
dropped one, it would literally take out an entire city block.
Hence the term blockbuster.
Hence the term blockbuster, right?
Yeah, well, the British with the bombing campaign, and this is something I talked about in my Masters of the Air review. By the time the Americans got involved, the British had so much of enough of the German bombs, they were just indiscriminately bombing anything they could in Germany, like civilian targets and everything, just because they didn't care anymore, because they would get their own people were being murdered. And I'm not saying they were blowing up schools or whatever, but like they would blow up like factories where German workers were building stuff and stuff like that, because they had gotten tired of the level of, like, the Germans were just bombing just randomly bombing everything,
Well, that's how the castle in Heidelberg actually got hit, was because of air raids, and actually split one of the towers in half because the bomb went off inside of it and split basically the rock down the middle, and it fell over. Half of it that was on the outside. So, and again, because Heidelberg headquarters was actually one of the headquarters for German Nazi command. That's why you had at the front gates, you had the two eagles. And the United States, all we did when we took over was actually drill out the swastika that the Eagles were standing on,
Yeah.
and we put Usura plaques over it.
Well, this is a semi-serious, semi-funny story from my grandpa. So my grandpa's company was a scouting company. So they would always, one of the ones that would go in advance of the main body and try to find safe pathways and whatever. But my grandfather's company became infamous for always finding like wine cellars, right? And so the colonel says, wherever those guys are scouting, we're not going that way, you know. So one day they scouted a castle, right? And the castle had like German artillery and everything in it, and that they tell the colonel, and the colonel's like, okay, call up the tanks, we're just gonna blow it up. And then my grandfather's like lieutenant goes, no, they have gigantic wine cellars in there, and the colonel goes, don't worry, we'll get the next castle wine cellar. It's like, you know, he was right there watching when it was happening. It was like funny.
That was important. Get the wine. Get the booze.
The wine is important.
Well, the Europeans, even the regular people, had these wine cellars in their families for generations. And when they would bug out, they would like seal up their basements and stuff like that, you know. And so soldiers would sniff them out, so to speak, because
Yeah.
underground basements are the best place to shack up. And I mean, it's a semi joke. My grandfather's company was infamous for finding wine cellars wherever they scouted.
Yeah. So he's actually set up the artillery cannons to blow up. But if they find that, he set up another one that'll blow up the powder magazine, I guess you'd call it. So
I
when they,
did like the that he put fake bombs to try to distract them because thinking they found the real ones,
Well, those were real explosives. It's just that he put that other one down there because he knew they were going to probably find him
Yeah.
as a secondary thing, which is ingenious. He had the electrical thing where the roller would come down and make the contact and everything, and in that water, I don't know why there was water down there. Didn't make any sense to me, but
For cooling.
maybe.
Those type of guns those guns are generating that much vibration, you'd have to cool them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know you definitely wouldn't want to be standing up on them when they fired.
You wouldn't want to be standing if those guns are literally cracking foundations that far away. You would want to be standing within 150 meters of those guns, and you want a wall between you. It's probably like 150 degrees when the guns fire right around them, and the back pressure wave probably grinds stone off the walls and stuff. Like if they're really cracking foundations from towns next door and stuff, that's an absurdly large amount of force. I'm not trying to like go physics wonky here, but like I love this movie. Don't get me wrong. It's like a 8 out of 10 to me. And I watch it every couple of years. I was talking to Jacob. I watched both this and the sequel like between 3 and 5 years ago. But there's some absurd things in here that I could overlook because it's a good movie.
Yeah.
I'm still going to point them out.
right. You could almost play the Star Wars music
Like
at this point
you
when
know,
they're about to blow it up.
you see how
Right.
that rail is curved? You can make the argument that the metal is being curved by the pressure from the guns, overpressure from the gun. And if that's being curved from pressure from the gun, a human standing there would literally be pushed through the steel, like Terminator, like T-1000.
Yeah, they would be splatted.
Yeah.
They just have to get a new gun crew each time they fire it.
Yeah. Send up the next crew. What happened to the other ones? Oh, they have been retired from the war. And
Hey, what's all this red stuff on the floor?
It's
Don't
a new
worry about it.
New lubricant.
Pay no attention to the redness on the floor.
Do you know what Anthony Quinn and character reminded me of in this movie? Like in retro now that I'm watching it again and all that. Remember that movie Sisu?
Yeah.
Yeah. Reminded me of like the Sisu character.
That was a crazy movie.
They look like I know the movie I'm thinking of probably took that from this movie, but they look like. Oh God, what is? I'll remember like in 5 days when it doesn't matter.
What? Who looks like who?
No, you see the guys who are wearing like the wooden hoodies there and all,
Mm-hmm.
the white hoodies. They look like something from another movie that was made after this, and I could see the images of them.
Is it another war movie or?
Um, if I remember well before we're done, I'll mention it. I'm
All
going to
right. All
Google
right.
something and see if.
Oh, there it goes.
Every time that hoist dropped down, I was just like, it's gonna go.
That would
the tension
basically
built up
be like
really
a
nice.
nuclear bomb going off in that bunker, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. Oh, and watching that hoist go down, God, it took too many times. I feel like
It's
he
like-
put it way too far down because each time the hoist was like what 3 inches above where it
Yeah,
should
right.
be,
He-
and it's like you
That's
should have
because
probably
they
put it
weren't-
right.
They weren't bottoming it out, but he did that, I think, so they wouldn't. Because then otherwise he would have to put grease too far up and it'd look weird. He didn't want him to find it.
Yeah, no, I definitely understood that.
Because I think some of the time lapse that's happening here is like how long it took them to like bust through the door was quite a while. I think they had like 45 minutes in there probably to
Yeah.
set all that up, maybe more. And it probably took them just as long to scope the whole area out, make sure it was to disarm the bombs and make sure no booby traps and whatever.
Well, and they were drilling.
Because they
through-
were
I-
using like metal detectors and minesweepers and all kinds of
Met- metal
Yep.
detectors over metal rails. Like they're following the tracks.
I know. But I think that was for the audience to see. Oh, look, they got like scanners or something.
I think it might have been more of a mine detector.
Yeah.
I don't think a mine detector. I don't know because
I thought all a mine detector was like a glorified metal detector.
It is. I think but it focuses more on alloys that are meant for mines because they're not just
Right.
straight up like steel, like a rail. But
Yeah.
anyway, I thought drilling through the door, the first panel of the door, and then they used the cutting torch. I was like, what?
Yeah. You,
Like-
use the
I
cutting
love
torch
it.
first. You should have gone right to the cutting door.
The torch?
Yeah.
Like, it would have cut time in half.
Actually, I would have been like, can we drive one of these armored cars up here and just shoot the door open?
Right?
You know?
That's a pretty thick door, and I'll admit.
You put
damn-
an armor-piercing round through that where it latches. I think.
Oh yeah, well I mean, I think it'd just been a lot messier because the Nazis were so good at building strongholds that it almost make me think that even an armor-piercing, round might actually have some blowback to it that might damage the bridge they have to drive over. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, these were the Nazis were the epitome of building underground bunkers and tunnels. There had never been the likes of this ever in the history of the world until they did it, and they did it so spectacularly that even to this day, we've barely probably understood how they did it. There are places that we don't even understand how they did it.
Yeah. So that's that. That's like a, what, 2 hour? How long is it?
I think it's 2 hours and 30 minutes.
2 hours and 30 minutes.
It was like 36 minutes with credits.
Give or take.
And then, like we said, there's a couple things in the middle, maybe 15 to 20 minutes. You could arguably cut down and still enjoy the movie. Although I would like to see, not in a modern context, because, it's all garbage, adaptations are all garbage lately. But, not all, some, most. But, in the context of if they ever did an adaptation of the book, I'd like to see maybe a 5 or 10 part miniseries type of thing, where they can really show more of the detail of some of the things the characters did, and not just like gloss over it. Like,
So the sequel from this is Force 10 from Navarone.
yep,
Robert Shaw plays Gregory Peck's character, and Edward Fox plays the bomb expert guy. But it's got Harrison Ford in it. It's
Wait, it does?
1978.
So it's like
Wow.
they're doing another mission like this, the same.
So the author wrote a book,
Yes,
a
similar.
book sequel to the book, and it's kind of like remember I said this isn't the duodeca, whatever those islands are called, campaign. Like there were a lot of
Dardanelles?
command. No, it's like duodeca something, whatever.
Okay.
It sounds like what I'm saying, like duodeca or anyway. So in that campaign, the real world one, there were a lot of commando missions and insurgency stuff. And Force 10 from Navarone is like a commando mission.
Right. Yeah. It's pretty good. It's not too bad.
Yeah, it's
I
not
was-
as good as this one,
I
but
mean-
it's still good.
Yeah, so Harrison Ford's in it. It came out in 78, so a year after Star Wars. And
Yeah.
it's got Carl Weathers in it too.
Yeah. And Frank Nero
Yeah.
and
And Richard Kyle, the
Jaws.
Jaws.
And one of the Bond girls.
Yeah, I can't remember.
What the hell was the movie?
Barbara Bach? Or
Barbara
Bach?
Bach. She was in The Spy Who Loved Me.
Yeah, right.
And then, like I said, according to everything I read, that is a very, very, very loose adaptation of the book, whereas this is a decent adaptation of the book.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'd probably do that movie at some point. It's not too bad.
Yeah, it's an enjoyable movie. You know, it's not like, you know what I mean. It's fun to watch. I just called it up on Wikipedia now. You know, we said some good. Who else? I don't know the actors. You would have seen a lot of these actors in that movie and other stuff. You know.
Yeah. Especially Robert Shaw and
Yeah.
Harrison Ford. But yeah, that
Well,
was
Robert
good movie.
Shaw. What did he? Well, he's in another. He was in one of the early.
He was in a
Bond
Bond movie, yeah.
films.
forget
Oh
which-
well, what's his face? Jaws.
Yeah, he was in Jaws.
The Shark Hunter.
Quint.
Quint. Yeah, he was Quint. There you go.
I think he was in From Russia with Love. Was that it?
I don't remember which one. It was one of the early Bond films, though. Wasn't Doctor No. I don't remember which one. It was one of the Sean Connery ones. Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff until he died. You know.
Yeah. It up here.
He was in The Sting. You remember that movie with Paul Newman and Robert Redford? He was in that. He
Yeah,
was
From
in-
Russia with Love.
Yeah, he was in the original Taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3, which was a good movie. He was in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
Till he died.
Yeah.
Uh,
Anybody have any last thoughts on this movie?
I'd recommend watching this film. Just prepare for either watch it over 2 days or plan for a break or two, like maybe watch it, then go eat lunch and come back, or that type of thing. You know.
I would definitely recommend this movie. As somebody who had never heard of this movie and never seen it, I definitely enjoyed it. It was something that it was just nice to see. Also, cinema from again just removed probably somewhere in the neighborhood of like 15, 16 years of World War II, and to see them actually try to portray it as best as they could. Because I sometimes I even think in today's world that we sugarcoat things, current Hollywood,
100%.
because the mustache mans and the the lightning bolts and the people who play Yahtzee at night are not allowed really to be a prominent thing. Well, they really should be a prominent thing because, quite frankly, if you don't learn from history, then you're doomed to repeat it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it's just good. It's just classic Hollywood.
Yep. Really, really good. The special effects, of course, are all
Real.
real, real explosions. Maybe some miniatures. But
Yeah, they used everything in this. The miniatures, rear projection screens, like I was really impressed. They were throwing everything to set
even
you.
the dive bombers, were really good. That you could tell they were a little model, but they did a good job.
Yeah, they
showing
got. You could tell they were moving them around, but they got motion blur on some of those models as they were moving around. So no, it was really good. It's the first time for me watching this as well, and I dug it. There were definitely, I agree. There's definitely some sections that could have been cut out completely to set it on a bit of a chipper pace, but I just kind of settled in and watched it. I didn't feel like I was ever being dragged along,
Yeah.
but good movie. Highly recommend.
Yeah. Me too. I recommend it too. So, yeah, let's go around the horn and we'll say what we got coming up next. Matt, what do you got?
Tomorrow night I will be on Wednesday Night is Overbooked, which is a weekly wrestling show with Joker Voice, Ego, Brad, and maybe Lawrence, depending on his schedule. And Thursday will be on Roman's show where we're doing summer previews this week. And what's on your show next week, Jacob?
We're doing X-Files next week.
Oh, so I don't know if I can do that one now, Jacob, because I tried to watch the X Files like I did once, and then like every time after
that's
that
all right.
I just can't like. There's too many bad episodes after the third season. You know?
Yeah, Scully loses her gun one too many times.
Yeah, bad ties.
Yeah, so.
Tisk.
Oh, that's no worries, man.
Yeah, send me maybe your calendar so I can pick the movies out.
All right, I will. I'll do that. Travis, you got anything?
I'm occasionally posting shorts to my channel. It's kind of like my lazy man's way of reviewing content, and still watching Stargate Universe. It does get better. I've actually gotten to a point where the story is actually not interpersonal drama every single episode. So,
What show?
Stargate Universe.
Oh, wow.
So,
Well, we started, my friend.
but yeah, that one's enjoyable. Invincible just finished up. Animation issues aside, I really enjoyed the plot for this season. Kept me in it, and but I guess I'll be here next week for X-Files. So that's where you'll catch me.
All right, cool. Mando.
What's up? So more or less, same old. Thursday I'll be on Romans. This Sunday I will probably not be on my friend Trucker Rob's channel for Pathfinder and dice rolling because a friend of mine has a birthday, so probably not going to be there for that. And then I should be back here on Tuesday, or yeah, just keep an eye out on social media. If there's something I'm gonna be on, I'll probably be tagged in it. I might even forget I scheduled things because that happens sometimes. I'll be like, oh, I'm supposed to be here.
Oh, cool. Shieldwall.
Hey, thanks for having me on. It's great to be on here with everybody, Travis, Matt, Mando, and Ryan, and of course you, Jacob. Great movie. Yeah, I'll be on Roman's channel, 5 Pacific Standard Time on Thursday, and we're going to be doing, what was it, blockbuster movies?
Yeah, summer movie.
Yeah, summer movie review, yep. So,
Say like we think of Pass or Fail, like which is either not and we'll record our votes, and then in October we'll go over and see how we did.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. We get to maybe we'll have a new Wolven meter. We don't know. Anyway, so tune in for that. Thanks for having me on. This is a great time.
You are a summer child if you think Woven is a truly bad movie.
Well, I have seen Velociplaster, so
Have you seen Highlander the Source?
I rented
that's
some
a bad
really bad movies in the late '80s. So yeah, I'm aware.
Have you seen like Pro 7 or whatever the last one was?
No, I haven't seen that.
You know, have you seen Omen 4?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That one's bad.
Yeah. I mean that movie makes Chud look
I
like
should do a list of my top 10 worst movies I've ever seen. Like, and then dare
Should
people
do
to
it.
watch it and see if they can remain sane.
We'll make
That's
Roman watch some of them
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
idea.
and review.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Ryan, what do you got coming up?
Oh, I'm probably just going to play some more video games. Been having a lot of fun. I got burnt out on reviewing current stuff. I really did. So that's why you invite me on for this movie that I've never seen from when I was not alive. I was actually very excited about for a time in history that I really enjoy. So thank you for having me on. And Matt, good to see you again. Of course, Untamed Mando, always a pleasure. And you other two gentlemen, it was nice to meet you. So I've been playing a little BioShock Remastered, playing Mass Effect 1 again. And yeah, next Tuesday, I believe that I'll be on with Nerdy Neo. We'll be doing party chat. So that's it's a lot of fun. He's a good dude. And we talk about video games, and we also talk about the fact it comes up every single week. Why GoldenEye 007 is much better than Perfect Dark, even though he won't admit it. And he's usually proven wrong in the chat, always.
Good job,
Right.
chat. Good job.
Yeah, and thanks, Ryan, for coming on. Glad you were
No
able to come
problem.
on.
You are correct, Ryan.
Well, that about does it for us. Thanks to the panel for being on and discussing this movie, and thank you to the chat. Hope everybody has a good week. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye,
Have a good
everyone.
one,
See ya.
bud. Laters.
All I can say, McKay, is you take a hell of a long time to say goodbye.
Well, so long. So long.
See you around, Burton.
Never can tell.
Good boy. Happy trails, Hans.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye, bro.
Goodbye, Arab.
Goodbye, Northman.